Hey, it's vlog of Friday the 15th, right?
Yes.
So we were in the wilderness, I think Tuesday and Wednesday night, and then Thursday we came back, but I was just kind of recovering still, so I didn't vlog. But now we're here Friday the 15th, and I'm trying to do a vlog. I didn't make any notes. I always have notes and ideas, but I just didn't do it this time, and figured I better just get something done without the notes. So we went into the Medicine Bow Mountains, and we camped at the same place as last time, way up the mountains. I don't know, 9,800 feet.
Yeah, I think that was about it.
What's funny? Why are you laughing?
Don't know.
And like we got there, we decided Tuesday morning. I guess we had kind of talked about it before, the night before. We're like, Tuesday morning, we're like, okay, let's do it. And correct me if I say anything wrong.
Okay.
And then we got up there late Tuesday morning, and I was like, I want to just go hike, because I'd seen this trail last time I went hiking, and I hoped that it was maybe like this more of a well-established trail that followed this ridge, this Rock Creek Ridge. And so I don't know, there's a lot of details. I don't want to get too detailed, but I basically like hiked the whole day because I was trying to find a path up this ridge to these other peaks, and I also got sidetracked and climbed a bunch of rocks and stuff.
He's gone 6 hours.
but yeah, and the part of it was so hard was the elevation change. We're at 7,220 feet here, and up there like 9,800, but then where I was hiking at was like 10,600 or something like that. So anyway, I had a lot of fun, and then I tried to find that trail, which I did find the part I saw before. And then I followed it up over this saddle, and it just like so many trails up there, it just essentially kind of evaporates. Which is so weird because it's clearly a path. And I understand the idea of you see patterns where there aren't patterns and things, and that happens in the woods a lot, but it's like, oh, that just happened to be a clear, kind of a clear lane in the woods and things. But this was definitely a worn path through the dirt and the scrub vegetation that was there. And then you got over this little rise, and it was just gone. Maybe it was at one time a trail, or I don't know. It did dry out quite a bit once you got over that ridge. Like there was less vegetation and more dirt, and so maybe it just was harder to detect, but it just kind of disappeared. But I kind of went with the mindset of, well, this is probably is going to pick back up, and so I kind of just stayed on the same bearing as the trail when you could see it, and it headed over to this next peak into these woods, which was what I was hoping to explore on a trail. And I just went across this vast field or whatever, open area, and finally made it over to the next peak, which was forested, and it's so rugged there. It's crazy. And then you get in the woods, and then you see more things that look like paths, and there was one, and you can see some of them on the satellite. One was like a really out of use logging road, it seemed, but had some small trees growing out the middle of it, but it was clearly at one time a forest road or logging road. And that wasn't really going to the bridge, so I didn't take that. I took another way, and anyway, it just breaks down and gets more and more rugged as you go, and there's so much downed timber, it's just hard to believe. And I imagine naturally that stuff would get burned up a lot in the naturally occurring forest fires, but they control that stuff so much now that there's just, in some areas, it's virtually impassable, if not just completely impassable in some of the areas, because there's so many downed trees. And needless to say, I got out a long ways and was like, I'm so tired. I didn't have any water or food, and I was climbing over these huge trees, or just all these trees, and it was getting late, and I wanted to go on further, but I knew that was probably unwise. I considered sleeping out there, but I was in shorts and a t-shirt, and I didn't have anything, so I just turned around and came back, and that was, I tried to go straight back, like over this peak, and that was just so rugged. I was like walking on dead trees, like stacked 3 deep, like I'm way off the ground, because there was no available ground in some of these areas. Like I'm having to balance and walk across down timber like 5 feet off the ground or more. I got through that, and then there's almost always a marsh as the elevation starts to flatten out. There's always like a marsh, it seems like, and that's what I got in. And some of those really get deep. You sink in deep, at least. And I managed to get through that, and I made my way back, and I was like so tired. But then you had dinner ready. She had started it. Dinner. She was watching me she could see my location, and I had like almost no battery left, so I was kind of lucky that worked out and I didn't get lost, because I could look at the map and stuff too. I was still a little turned around even when I was getting close back to camp. It's easy to get lost and stuff, so I survived, but I was very tired that day and that night and Wednesday and even into Thursday. I was still kind of like, yesterday I was maybe like 50% body power and 30% brain power, because a lot of it's probably the altitude, because I've ran long distances and things, and a lot of it's just, that's a big added stressor, and that's how we're at now. What do you have to say?
I was just glad you didn't stay the night up there, because I would have freaked out.
Yeah, because I thought, like, if I had done it, she might have called the authorities, and then they might charge us for coming to find me. Although I wasn't really lost, I knew where I was.
I guess my fear was the last time we had stayed in that campsite, we heard a frustrated bear really close to us, and if he didn't come back, I would have assumed he got eaten by a bear.
There's a lot. We heard black bears like more often than not when we camped up there. We camped in 3 different places, and it seemed like every night around, right when it got dark, or around there, you'd hear a bear just nearby in the woods. I'm assuming what was happening was they smelled our dinner, or they might have even had a circuit of going through these, because these are kind of established. They're primitive campsites. There's nothing there. There's no structure at all. But there's fire rings, people regularly stay there, and I wouldn't be surprised if these bears are doing a circuit, every night. And so most nights you'd hear a or something, and that one night she's talking about, it was just like it was kind of sound like he was pissed off, and so and you'd see the bear scat it's all over the place, and they're just black bears, but still it's a little disconcerting.
Yeah, so I was glad you came back. That
yeah, I'd
have probably been a little freaked out.
Yeah, that was rude. I've made to stay out that long, bro. I was being a little so.
No, I wasn't.
But didn't you have a good time?
Yeah, I worked on my jewelry, and
oh yeah, you made some cool. Are you gonna put that on social media?
Yes, and I made daisy earrings.
She made daisy earrings, and like what do you call that triangle wave thing?
It's wire wrap jewelry with beads, but I made it's like a triangle, and the sides have colors to look like a sunset, and then the middle has kind of like a wave, so it looks like an ocean sunset.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so check out her stuff. So. But she made those at camp, made in the the Medicine Bow Mountains within the Rocky Mountains in Wyoming, made by a Wyoming artisan. made from polished moose bone. No, she didn't. She bought this stuff, but like she made it out there, so that's got to count for something.
Yeah, it was. So I wasn't too bothered that you were out there hiking because I was in my happy place making crafts.
Yeah.
So
I was having a good time.
yeah, I can't. The altitude's really been a problem for me this whole trip, and I can't move hardly up there without my O2 dropping. So I can't really do the hiking the way.
She's smart. She knows to not overdo it. I just plowed ahead and trashed myself, left myself useless for a few days. But yeah.
No, you'd have had to carry me back if I had gone.
It's interesting. It's not like when we were younger. You just kind of have a few moments of, ooh, it's a little harder. It's like, no, you're going to pay for it if you go too hard. But yeah, we're back. It's not a huge deal. We're back now.
Oh, we've just been dashing, and all the antelope. We've seen a bunch of antelope today.
Yeah, and I've been putting some stuff on my stories and reels, and yeah, we were door dashing and stopped at the Laramie High School parking lot to just cook some quick noodles, and there was antelope just there, right, eating next to the parking lot. So there's antelope all in a lot of places in town because the town is in the middle of nowhere. There's no adjacent town, so the edge of town is basically just on the edge of the frontier. Kind of, it's just open wilderness to some extent. You know, there's ranching and stuff, but it's like, you know, it's huge ranches, like multiple acres per one cow. It's like vast open spaces, and so it's a really interesting place in that regard. Get all the prairie dogs. You get these little, what were they called, ground squirrels, or the things here?
Oh, I forgot what they're called.
It's like a miniature version of the prairie dogs, kind of. There's those, and just like a miniature prairie dog to me. But the antelope and some deer, but then once you go into the mountains, there's other. I saw something that I think was probably a large marmot, but at first I thought it was a wolverine. But I doubt it was that. Those are pretty uncommon, but it was big. If it was a marmot, it was pretty big. And I got it on video, but you can barely. I was too far away. The resolution's too low for it to see it clearly. But
you saw moose up there.
Oh, the trip before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I put that in my compilation. But yeah, the door dashing has been good.
Very good here.
So
the college kids are coming back, so it's been a little wild.
Yeah, it went from being the sleepy town, which we loved, to being like not so pleasant all the time. All these belligerent, kind of boorish young people, but it's okay, I guess. So
I think they're just excited. School it's been kind of crazy. A lot of wild, and I think happening.
Yeah.
But the college here is very neat. A lot of things to see.
Yeah. Is there anything else you can think of? Mm-hmm. Tomorrow is Saturday. We're gonna DoorDash, I guess.
Yeah.
Saturdays are often bad DoorDashing days because our theory is that people are going out and about, doing their errands and getting their own eating out and stuff, so they're not delivering it to their house. We'll see.
Sundays are good though.
See what it's like. Sundays are usually very good, but the hourly rate for DoorDash here is good. It's actually one of the best hourly rates we had. And when I looked up online, Google AI said the average DoorDash pay here is $14 an hour, but maybe that has something to do with the time of year. Maybe overall it averages out to be like that. But I guess the winters here are harsh. You know, that we talked to a guy who said the average temperature at night is -20 to -30 Fahrenheit, and he said the days aren't bad actually because of the sunshine, but once it gets dark, he said and it's so freezing cold, and there's always wind, and maybe that But you think that would increase door dashing, but I don't know. But we're not there yet. We were not going to be here for that. So I guess that's it. Is there anything else?
Mm-mm.
So, okay. Well, that's one more in the books. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.